Can't wait for the new season to start, guys. That season is gonna be nice, interesting. Hopefully our essences opens us up to new comps, but I doubt it because our whole kit is the same. Nothing has changed. But things that I'm gonna be trying out is with my pet. I am gonna get a dispel pet, as I've been reading what are important skills to dispel. All right, and important skills are like a mage's temporal shield. You can dispel that. Holy paladins, you can dispel their bops. All right, you can dispel a holy priest's aura mastery, I think it is. You can even dispel hunters. I forgot what it is that hunters have that you can dispel, but you can dispel it. What it is, I have no idea. I think it's the pet's heal. I think you can dispel the pet's heal. And there's just a bunch of abilities that are important. If you want to look it up, you can always look it up online. Google. It's important. It's important to do research to understand your spec and to understand other specs. Add-ons that I use that help me out is I have this add-on called Move Anything. I'm gonna show you what it does. I have both Move Anything and Nameplate cooldowns. Those two are huge, right? And there's another one that's called, I don't like Omnibar, there's just too much stuff in my thing, but it's called Big Debuff. And what it does, what Move Anything does, right? So Move Anything, you can move anything from your UI anywhere. Not only can you move anything, but you can also resize everything, okay? So what I've done is I've moved my portrait and my target a little lower, right? And I increased the buffs and the debuff of the player, all right? And I also moved my focus target, all right? So my focus target is exactly the same. It has big debuffs. I don't know why this is small. I probably reset it for some reason. But it shines whenever, like, this is why I don't use, because Omnibar, the abilities come out here, right? But if I use a cooldown, if a target uses a cooldown, you see it huge as hell, and if you can dispel it, it'll have this huge thing, like it's like lighted up. It goes around, and you can dispel it. It's just a good way to practice if you're new at that stuff. I have the focus over. But yeah, if you're in a BG, right, and you never used focus macros, get the focus macro. I will show you what my macro is. Okay, all right. So here we go. So let's start it again. My focus macro is very simple. For any of you guys who are interested, it's very simple. It's a clear focus. If you don't have any target, if you don't have anybody targeted or anything, it just clears it. If you want to focus a target you already have targeted, you just target him and just press it, boom, it comes out, okay? And then lastly, this is just that one macro. If I'm hovering over a target with nothing targeted, it'll focus it when I press the button. All right, so that's important. So again, if you find yourself in a BG and you're fighting somebody and another target comes in, just hover over that target and press it focus. Okay, you don't have to even use an ability. Just get to the hang of using it, right? And then the next macro you want to use, all right, to continue learning, is gonna have to be your counter. What is it called? Your counter shot. And counter shot it works the exact same way as the mouse over macro. All right. It works the same way. If you don't have any target, it'll hit the person that you're hovering over. If you have a focus, though, you have to use a modifier. So if I press counter shot by itself, it'll always counter shot my target. But if I have a focus target, I have to press shift in order to hit the focus target. All right, and that's important because if I'm targeting somebody and my peripheral, or I keep my eye on the focus, I also have my cast, the cast bar really big on both my target and the focus target. So when I do see them casting, it's huge, it's very obvious, and I just press shift 2 and that counter shots them. I also have my scatter shot. My scatter shot is the same as my counter shot, so all you gotta do is change the counter shot macro into scatter shot. All right, all I gotta do is press shift and boom, use my scatter shot on my focus target. But these are huge for marksmanship hunters. Not a lot of people use it. Obviously, when you play arenas, if you play arenas for a long time, this is natural. This is already, you should have been there. But I've been playing World of Warcraft for many years, and I've only used macros for PvP in World of the Draenor. And then in Legion, I stopped PvPing because my specs sucked at the time. I didn't main a hunter at that time. So I have to relearn it. So now it's just a matter of relearning and redoing it. So let me move out the way. Another tip for marksmanship hunters: you do not want to cast aim shot. All right. That, I know that goes against everything that that you want to do. Aim shot is powerful, but you only want to use aim shot when you are opening from camouflage, or when you are able to, like you can free cast. When you can free cast, you throw an aim shot. But if you're not, if you're not able to cast aim shot, don't do it. Don't do it. Just kite. LOS. Use your escape abilities. That's huge for marksmanship hunters. All right. Now, for pets, all right. If somebody is curious about pets and how to use, should you use a pet or shouldn't you use a pet? What I recommend in arenas, you always want to use pets because of your Master's Call and your Roar of Sacrifice. All right. Roar of Sacrifice is huge, especially as a marksmanship hunter, because our biggest weakness is inside of a stun. If you're inside of a stun, you're gonna get destroyed. Or not necessarily inside of a stun, but if you see somebody blowing up cooldowns, just going ham with their cooldowns, offensive cooldowns, you just want to throw a Roar of Sacrifice out. Why? Because you become immune to critical strikes, which is huge. Okay. So in arenas, always want to use your pet. In BGs, I recommend playing without your pet until you know for a fact that you are going to be targeted. The moment you predict, you see how the cast time, see how big that cast time is? Anyway, the moment you predict that somebody is about to hit you, or fuck it, somebody's already hitting you, and you are slow, you cannot move, take your pet out and use that Master's Call. All right, that's gonna be your huge thing. Binding shot is huge for versus Havocs, versus Death Knights, versus Warriors. Those are the major ones, all right? But casters, you don't really need to use binding shot. But at comps where you see Warriors, Havocs, and Death Knights, definitely want to go binding shot. One thing that I do want to start learning is, or not learning, but be aware of, is the use of my camouflage. I want to start using camouflage to gain position and openings. All right. Now, I don't know how useful that's going to be in arenas, because the moment you camouflage, you're not doing damage, and the enemy team can 100% just keep on doing damage, and that's going to not help you out. But in 2v2, camouflage does prove very useful, and I'm going to be doing 2v2. I don't think I'm skilled enough to be doing 3v3 off the bat, but 2v2 is a very good starter place. Murder of Crows. Murder of Crows, not a lot of people play with it, it is a sense of play style. If you use Murder of Crows over Master Marksman, know that you will be focus starved. Okay, but once we start using, once I have Lucid Dreams as a minor effect, Lucid Dreams minor is your spells and abilities have a chance to refund 50% of your focus and heal you for 9k. All right, so that's awesome. You get a little bit of survivability and you get a little bit of focus back. So once I get that, I'm going to play majority with Murder Crows. Why? If you have double tap, right, and you go triple focus, triple surgical strikes, I think it's called, or surging shots, and you have that one enchant. I mean, I'm using Master Navigation, but this ability, Incendiary Ammunition, it becomes like your double tap rapid fire becomes crazy amounts of damage within those 3 seconds that you cast it. Okay, so you put the Murder Crows up, or the burst will be like this: Murder Crows or double tap, depending on if you're aligned to sight or not. But you put the Murder Crows on, you double tap, you use your trinkets, and you rapid fire. And when you rapid fire, and hopefully you get a lock and load proc, because if you get a lock and load proc, you're gonna do the matazo. Once you do the matazo, bro, you're killing everything. But understand that Murder Crows is gonna be hitting. Your trinket is gonna power your rapid fire, and is you gonna do stupid amounts of damage. Okay, so that is a very careful. You have to understand your spec in order to use that playstyle with the Murder Crows double tap, because it does take a lot of setup, but the amount of damage that you're going to be producing is going to be huge. All right, and if you're arcane shotting at the end, Murder Crows helps with that, because every time it ticks is like 1,000 something, and your arcane shots is going to be hitting between 6 to 12k if it crits. All right, and if you do have a lock and load, then you will hit them with that double aim shot when doing the matazo, and you're gonna have those empowered arcane shots. So that is something that you might see, start seeing me use Murder Crows once I get that essence as a minor. All right, so that's interesting. But again, that is a matter of play style. The cookie cutters PvP talents is going to be these 3. All right, but I am gonna start using the PvP essence as my major. All right, let's see if I can find it. Conflict and Strife. Conflict and Strife is gonna give you high explosive trap. When you use conflict, it's gonna be interesting, because a lot of people are gonna do different things, right? So again, Conflict and Strife is gonna give you explosive trap, and explosive trap by itself is, at least in arenas, is not that great of a deal, but having it, you can 100% do plays with it. You can send people off, out of line of sight. You can interrupt casts. You can use it to your advantage. All right, not only this, your spells and abilities have a chance to increase your versatility by 49, and it stacks. Okay, and then if you become stunned, or if you anything that you lose control of your character, your versatility doubles. Okay, so if you have a trinket that has versatility and you use it, or you start speccing into versatility, you're gonna notice you're gonna take reduced damage in PvP or whatever. I don't know if many people is gonna use this, but I'm gonna use it to start. And then once I gain this minor, which is at 55, it's not much of a big deal to get to 55. I mean, it's gonna take some grinding, but you will be able to get to 55 in a couple weeks. we'll see if I can switch up and stuff like that. But right now it's gonna be Conflict and Strife, Lucid Dreams for the minor, and then once I get Vision of Perfection, it's gonna be Vision of Perfection and then Lucid Dreams second. That's my take. There are different play styles and different things you can do, like the teleportating one. The Blood of the Enemy one is crazy good. I can see it being awesome. I think at the max, at the third rank, it has a 1 minute cooldown, so you can time it with your double tap. All right. Yeah, that's a lot of things, and the biggest thing, if you want to get into Marksmanship Hunter, you need to understand that kiting is the way to play the spec. If you stand still or just move forward or go side to side in a little bit, you're gonna have a lot of issues. You have to learn. I'm so serious with the kiting aspect of it that my S key is not even bouncing backwards. I cannot move backwards in this game. I have to turn my character and move sideways. The reason being is, if I use S key, I'm moving 50% speed. And you're just doing yourself a disservice. Why move at 50% speed when you can move at 100% speed and still do the same amounts of damage? That's my logic. I'll show you right here, for instance. You see me always moving at a side, and with my add-on, I see a little bit of where I'm going. With my dynamic cam, I can see where I'm heading, or if there's any enemies or whatever. If I'm moving backwards, if I'm just moving backwards while I'm doing it, I'm moving slower. People are going to catch up. You just can't do it that way. Concussive shot is your best friend. If you're out of stealth, always start with a concussive shot. And if you need to, and you always, no matter what you're doing, have concussive shot on cooldown, right? This guy is never going to touch me. He is never going to touch me. Boom, concussive shot. There's nothing he can do, right? I can use my rapid fire. I can use my double tap or whatever. It's always going to be great, right? Another thing to understand is, if you save your freezing trap to trap other enemies, try to use scatter shot on the kill target. All right, that's something that I see Mataso do a lot. He uses his scatter shot for his kill target. I like to use my scatter shot to increase the length of my CC after a freezing trap, but that's a personal preference. Once I gain much more, let's go after this elite. Let's see how we can do with this elite. Another concussive. See, I'm just kiting him. My concussive, whenever I use steady shot, my concussive shot resets. It just continues. I don't have to put another concussive, so I can continue doing damage. Right here, since he have concussion, I could use my rapid fire, my double tap into a rapid fire and continue. Concussive again. If I would have been moving backwards, there's nothing I can do. There's no point. I know I can cast an aim shot because he's not going to attack me, and the concussive shot is still on the target. All right. Concussive again, and rapid fire. Kiting is your best friend, guys. Kiting is your best friend. A tip that I like to do, if your target is at lower health, and he's attacking you, let's attack this crab, right? Disengage and bursting shot at the same time gives you room to aim shot without having to move. All right. I don't recommend this all the time. I don't recommend doing this all the time because you don't want to use multiples of cooldowns. All right. But if the target is on your ass all the time and he doesn't have that many CCs, and both your disengage and bursting shot is off cooldown, what this allows you to do is, when you bursting shot, they still kind of close to you. So you have to move backwards in order to aim shot. All right. It does leave a nice 6-second snare on the target, but they're still close to you. So if you use bursting shot and disengage, you don't have to move. You will be able to cast 2 aim shots. All right, I'm gonna show you right now. Let me trap this guy. I'm gonna try to use this guy right here. Let me move so I don't. So I disengage into bursting, and I can cast aim shot into another aim shot, and then the snare goes off. All right, that's just one thing that I've learned, and it has become very useful. But again, that is an advanced trick. That is not like, I mean, as simple as it is, it's advanced because you know if you use that combo, you know that the target won't be able to catch you again. All right. So why I say that? So for example, if I do use that combo, but I'm facing a warrior and he has double charge, then I just use 2 abilities. And it was wasted. It was wasted. Okay? If I use that on a rogue and he has his shadow step, then I've completely wasted the cooldown. Alright? I use it 2 cooldowns for one of his cooldowns. So you have to understand what's going on, what the enemy player has, and if he has no cooldowns to reach you, then boom, bursting shot into a disengage, and that way you can cast 2 aim. All right, and then you can continue kiting and using concussions. All right, guys, that ends this stream. I appreciate you hanging out. So with that being said, guys, appreciate you hanging out, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, much love. Peace out, guys. Adios.